Welcome to our first episode of Loot Table.
As you can see, we are your 4 weekly normal regular hosts from the Evercast show. You might have heard of us before. I am Tannlin. With me are the 3 other regular weekly normal hosts. I've got Flattuss over here to my right. Below me, Caeleste. And over in the corner is Lucy.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Maybe sometimes.
Nobody gets the reference? Seriously?
I totally do.
We totally get it. We totally get it.
Okay, it's just not funny. All right. Shit.
No, I was waiting. I was waiting for shit to go down. I was waiting for it, and then Tannlin did the thing that's probably the smartest thing, and did not rise to the bait.
Didn't say nothing at all.
Yeah. So what happened was that when I reset my router and then we restarted the Skype call, when you restart a Skype call, it unmutes Skype. And that's why I was cursing at Skype just a minute ago. So hi. Yeah, we are the Loot Table. We've rebranded ourselves, talking about all things fun and interesting in the world of online video games. Flattuss, what's our normal spiel?
Well, you know, we don't ask for money. We ask you to do one thing and one thing only, is to share us with a friend, family member, an enemy, really, anybody you think would like us. And what we are is something different than what we were before, because now what we are is all things gaming. So if you have a friend that may have not been into what we were before, they may be into us now. So give them my number. We went to the gym, maybe GTL, maybe. We dropped Facebook, we lawyered up, and we hit the gym. This is what we did in the meantime.
Did we broke up with EverQuest next?
Yeah.
All right. So at the start of every show, after our brief little introduction, we used to do a thing called eCast News. And the eCast News was supposed to be EverQuest Next News or EverQuest News. We brought in that when we opened up the topic of Evercast into more general video games. And then when we rebranded, we also rebranded. We no longer do eCast News. What we do, we call them patch notes. So patch notes are the latest in video games. Yeah.
Yes, Lucy named that.
You get credit for something named.
So
you should have seen the show names I came up with. They were awful.
No, some of them are really awesome.
So patch notes, what we have going down. Blizzard announced BlizzCon. Tickets go on sale April 20th and April 23rd. On the 20th, they're going to go on sale at 7 p.m. And on the 23rd, they're going to go on sale at 10 a.m. And these are both Pacific time. I'd already had my hotel reservation made for that exact weekend, because if you had talked to the people that might have known a thing or two, they would have said, this is the weekend that BlizzCon is going down. And it's the first weekend in November. That's November 4th and 5th, or 4th and 5th.
Just the 4th and 5th.
But it's also the 25th anniversary of Blizzard, so that's should be a pretty good BlizzCon.
Their 25th anniversary, right?
Yep.
And then like this will be the first one where all of their esport titles have a competitive world championship circuit leading up to BlizzCon. Right. So next. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I was just gonna say I'm still waiting on Square to announce ticket sale dates for FanFest. That is not it. Release. I know when the dates are, but I just don't know when the tickets are.
It looks like Lucy was trying to drink BB-8's brain for a minute.
It does. It looks like a straw.
Metachlorians.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
BB-8 isn't a Jedi. He's just badass all on his own.
Metachlorians did not being a Jedi.
All right, so next bit of eCast news, the HTC Vive, which is the third of the big VR headsets, has launched. It's now available if you pre-ordered. And currently, what's funny, Flattuss, what's the biggest app for the HTC Vive right now?
Glad you asked. Anybody out there with that VR interest, and you have one, if you have this technology right now, and if you're not playing this hot software right now, IkeaVR. Woo! So, it's got baby mode, so you can experience everything from a toddler's point of view. So if you wanted to relive, I'm not kidding you. It's free, so it's not a selling point, but it's a go download it and play. And that is the hottest item on VR right now. Is the IKEA experience.
IKEA experience, like I can go shopping virtually in an IKEA store? What?
No, it's a whole house of IKEA products, like the IKEA kitchen, the IKEA living room. Like it's just you could open the drawers, you can just look at IKEA items, and that's what it is.
I mean,
I want
bought
all
the
shopping
IKEA
to be like
stuff
this.
pack.
That's exactly what that's all it is. You just go look at IKEA things, and you can look at it from adult height or baby height.
I literally want all online shopping to be like this. Right now.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. That would be great. Except you don't buy anything. You stupid items. I mean, I guess if you were gonna go buy the thing, like later, be like, that did look kind of cool. I could use that in my kitchen.
Well, no. Can you move things around? Can you manipulate it?
Yeah,
so you can what is it? Interior decorating. You can virtually interior decorate.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you could design your house, like your apartment or something in there, and then place the objects. I don't know. Someone go. Can I download it and not have VR? Maybe I could just play with it to see what I can do.
All right. So the next bit of patch notes that we have for you is, again, linking back to Steam. California Representative Duncan Hunter, who is currently being questioned by the FCC about $1,300 in charges on his campaign finance disclosure stemming from Steam purchases.
GG. If you ask me, that's probably the best money ever spent on a campaign.
But just think of it as like the video game industry lobbying him, right?
Wait a minute. Shenanigans. The deal was that I guess and did you hear? I didn't post his response, but his response was that he okayed his kid to buy one Steam game, regardless. It was still.
He totally blamed it on the kid, right?
And then his dad's like, I don't know what happened, Dad. I just bought. I was one game, one. I bought all the games.
Would be interesting to think of, to look at in his fight if it's disclosed in the finance disclosure, is that if it was like one game and a whole bunch of in-game purchases, or if it was like a bunch of games. But yeah, I think that, if your kid is old enough to make those purchases, maybe you might want to put some controls to keep them from spending $1,300 on, even if it was the kid or if it wasn't the kid, either way. So next bit of patch news. Rock Band for the PC. They were trying to do some crowdfunding.
Yeah, they were trying to get crowdfunding for the PC version and try to build the Rock Band network. So it was like this online Rock Band that you could just play from home and then band up with people over a network. It didn't go so well. They were asking for $1,500,000. That's a lot. 1.5 million is a lot for Rock Band. I'm sorry, Rock Band, but even they said that it's like, hey, we, maybe the interest wasn't there. I don't think the interest was there like a year ago. I don't think it was that. Like they stopped making Rock Band games. They came out with these ones and they kind of just did lackluster. Like, Rock Band and Guitar Hero, they just didn't do great. I mean, stop making music games. Not many people want them.
Right, it was the novel party game to begin with, and then once that novelty wore off, But I will say that there was one person who leveled from 0 to 100 in World of Warcraft using only a dance pad, which you know what the next step is, right? Level from 0 to 100 using only the guitar. All right. We have one game trailer to show you. Banner Saga 2 launches in 2 weeks. Flattuss picked this out. I'm a big fan of the Banner Saga, and I will have the video for you in just a second.
I have a bit of ECAST news that I forgot. If I can sneak it in while you're looking for the video.
Patch notes. Go ahead.
Patch notes.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a noob. Patch notes. I named it. God, what's wrong with you?
50 DKB minus. 50 DKB
Seriously.
minus.
No loot for you.
More dots.
But True Self will fight. But you need my mangle.
We do. Actually, for that fight, you didn't need mangle.
Not BlizzCon. PAX East is 2 weekends from now, and I'm going.
Woo! You know what that means? She's gonna wait in line and sign us up for things. Spooze up to developers, be like, "Can I sign up my friends who are on a podcast? We talk about video games."
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, no, that's what you do. that's the secret.
Can I actually do that? Like sign us up for like free stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. You
I'm
tell
gonna
them
do that.
You tell them that you're a podcast and that you talk about all things gaming, and you have 4 hosts, and you'd like them to sign everybody up, and they'll let you do it.
Whoops. All right, so I'm gonna play that video for the Banner Saga. If I turn him up, then I guess.
Hi. Maybe did something? Can you guys hear me? Oh wait, Meowth can hear me. Somebody could hear me. Flattuss is quiet. Flattuss is too quiet. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me.
Legend.
I think I'm speaking very loud. Anyway, what I was saying is that.
These are names we're given. Words for moments of courage. Words for a saga. Words which ignore all our pain and loss. Our struggle to keep moving across a breaking world. And words don't keep you safe. Your bow, your guile, the clans under your banner. These are your tools to stay alive, to reach your destination, and face whatever comes next.
And so that was the launch trailer for Banner Saga 2. Again, it comes out in 2 weeks.
Oh, that game is so beautiful. All that hand-drawn art. It's so great.
It really is pretty.
If you like tactical RPGs, go get the Banner Saga.
Oh, speaking of tactical RPGs, this is more like a tactical MOBA. It's a turn-based. Atlas Reactor is now open beta. They're going to close the beta, but right now it's open. As long as if you have a Glyph account and you sign up for it, they'll give you access to play around with it. All right, so that was it for patch notes. Now to get into mainly talking about us, and this is all kind of repetitive for the people that have been around here for a little while. But if you're catching us for the first time, this podcast. We record live every Sunday. We're calling it the Loot Table. We used to be the Evercast show, and we talked about all things fun and exciting about EverQuest Next. When EverQuest Next was canceled, we decided we didn't want to stop talking about video games, but we needed to open up the doors a little bit to talk more about like video games.
Air out the studio.
Yeah. Hey, get the fresh air in here, and rebrand and relaunch and talk to you guys, not only about what we're currently playing, but what you're currently playing. So if you're in chat channel right now and they're playing a game, let us know what it is. If you played the Banner Saga, tell us what you think. Tell us what you think about the launch of Banner Saga 2.
Also, let's premise this now. It's contact@loottable.net, correct? One thing that I would like to do for this show that we've tried, but we're doing it here. We're doing this one is email us, please. Email us at contact@loottable.net. The games you're playing, topics you think a game that we should talk about on the show is something that, like, hey guys, check this out. Look at this game. See what they're doing different, and want us to talk about it. Maybe we will, and maybe we'll ask you to be on the show. You never know. That's kind of what we want to do here. Is that it's we help each other out. It's really what we're talking about. You help us, we help you. It's a commingling of gaming. That's really what gaming's all about, right?
Exactly what video games are about. We could all, spend our times and buy solo player RPGs that we play alone in the privacy of our own homes. But this particular community, we play games online with our friends. That's why we throw that little, descriptor in, when we're talking about our show. We say that we're playing online video games, and we play with other people. Flattuss convinced me to play Final Fantasy 14. I just logged in and got my character up to like level 12 in the last 2 days.
Yes.
But he lured me in with I need a crafter to make an airship, and if you guys want to know a little bit about me, I love crafting in video games, but I especially love it when you get to build the big, awesome things, the things that require bunches of work over long periods of time, but the end result is this massive, huge thing. Guild halls, airships, those sorts of things.
Best part is that, like, you get like the first level airship, and then you can build the second level airship. It's like they just keep going. You're like, yes, build them bigger, stronger, better. And the better ones travel further, and they get better loot. They can hold more loot and stuff, and bring us back extra goodies.
I like goodies.
Everybody loves goodies. It's so good. We're broke. A lot of us are broke. Just don't have money, but we got our house. We got our guild house. So good. Shameless, yeah. Shinter's in chat. By the way, Shinter's shamelessly plugging our guild and everybody for everybody.
Yeah. Oh, Worlds of Drift. I looked at the concept art for Worlds Apart, and like, one of my big complaints is that I don't have enough time to play all the video games I'd like. Like, I'd love to play more time playing Atlas Reactor. I run out of time. I might have to cut back on some of the video games that I'm playing a lot of currently, because they're getting to that area where they're very repetitive. You can only raid the same instance so many times before you're like, okay, I've kicked you enough times and you gave me the loot I wanted, and now I'm going to move on to do something else. All right. Feel free to jump in here. So if you are new to the show, I wanted to throw it out there. If you're catching us for the first time, Tannlin, I am Tannlin. I am one of the people, or I'm like the technical producer of the show. That's the title that I've given myself. If you ever whisper any of the moderators, any of the people with the swords in the chat channels, they can post links for you, answer questions for you. If you whisper the Tannlin one, I can't answer because I'm running so much of the show in the background.
I will judge your links. You send me a link, I may judge you.
That's our job.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I will judge you as a person.
So Lucy, along with being a host of the show, is also probably the most consistent streamer outside of the Loot Table podcast. She streams like 3 days a week that you try to do?
Yeah, last week was actually 4. But I was able to have Saturday off like randomly, so I did a big 4-hour stream, and it was like awesome and exhausting as at the same time because you have to talk to yourself basically for 4 hours. And it's a little weird, but I'm good at weird, so that works. Yeah, but I try to do 3 days and then Loot Table on Sunday, so it's technically like 4 days that I'm streaming out of 7, so not bad.
I've been adjusting to my new schedule at work because originally we started on the same week that we had the time change, and that killed me. I was like, I don't know when my sleep schedule is anymore. Now that I got that down, and that I'm coming that they said, hey, you guys can just take a half-hour lunch, so I can come home. I'm home now. I leave work at 3:30. I'm home by 4. So yay. So I could start streaming earlier and stream like a different, like, because the rest of my free company guild on Final Fantasy 14 is not really home until about 5 or 6, so I can actually stream some stuff beforehand and then go stream Final Fantasy. So give me this week, I will have a schedule, and that will be up, and I will start streaming more.
Yeah,
So.
and for the actual history of the Evercast show, we started the Evercast show in July of 2013. It was a month before SOE Live 2013, because we did one show before SOE Live 2013, and then we did our second show right after the grand reveal of EverQuest Next at SOE Live 2013. And then we did Evercast from then consistently until like 2 weeks after they announced that they canceled EverQuest Next. But yeah, it was over 2 years, close to 2.5, not quite 3.
I mean, given production time, we met way before we started that show, though. So, known each other for 3 years probably already.
Oh yeah, because that's right. We were talking with one another because we were setting everything up. As some more history of the Evercast. Flattuss and I were 2 of the original hosts. Caeleste below us was there for the first show, but she was a moderator for the chat channel, and then she was like, "This is really fun. This is cool. I want to do this too. I think I can contribute." And so she's like, "Sure, we can bring on another host."
And Chewina, who's in chat, I saw him earlier. I'm not sure if he's still there. He was here too, but then he was like, "I can't do this, guys. I'm out," and he got all drama and tried to bring them. I'm kidding.
He got married.
Yeah.
Fucking drama.
Uh,
God, people going and getting married and shit. What?
But thankfully, Chewina kind of opened up a spot for me to join. So
yeah, I'll take you over Chewy any day. Much easier on the eyes.
I'll burn.
So we we started with 2 other co-hosts that aren't part of the show anymore. Calbor was the other one. He left after a year. He was European time zone. He was Dutch, and so he was having to stay up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to join the podcast, because we actually did it later in the evening at that point in time too. But then he left the show. We moved the show earlier to be more convenient for us, get some more, better time slot period. And then Chewina left about a year last year because him and his wife just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. So he left the show about a year ago. And as Lucy said, that opened the opportunity for her to join the show. At first, she was a guest host. Flattuss, Caeleste, and I had talked about there was the 3 of us, and we wanted to bring on a 4th person onto the show. And I had in my mind some qualities that I would like to see brought in. I wanted someone who was knowledgeable about EverQuest 2, EverQuest, Landmark, who was an active player of those games, and was socially active. And Lucy kind of stuck out. Plus, there is the added benefit. There was the added benefit of being diverse, because we didn't want the show to be all the bearded gamer guys,
There were enough shows. Yeah, there were enough shows like that had
Because clearly I'm a bearded gamer.
Well,
we had to bring Lucy on to make sure that we weren't a bunch of bearded gamers.
I have to actually shave for the show because they didn't want to start
Yeah.
bearded. Yeah. So I mean, it's a sacrifice, but I'm willing to make it. You know.
It's hard. It's hard not wanting to not shave. We pull straws every week to see who's gonna shave next, and Tannlin and I keep winning.
And per se, there's nothing wrong with the beards. It's just that we wanted to increase the diversity. It's really easy to go out there and find the voices of male gamers, and it's not always easy to go out and find a podcast that features the voice of video gamers that happen to be female. And I was trying to stay away from that female gamer thing. But just, bring all the voices into the conversation.
Yeah. Get in the mix. Get in there.
I did. I'm here.
Yeah, you're here. Well, everyone's here. Everyone.
Lucy, so there's a comment that we need more bearded gamer girls. So maybe you should stop shaving. Just show up all natural.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I hit my BB-8. Sorry, he's talking. I gave you guys BB-8. Come on, I'm talking. It's my turn. So I gave you guys a preview with. I mean, this is what it looks like if I don't shave. So I mean, I kind of rival Flattuss for luxuriousness.
I could be bearded next week if people really want that. No.
Oh wait, no! Don't you have the helmet thing with the thing? Yeah.
I made that.
Yeah, she did.
Good mouth. Chicks on a video game podcast are like needle in a haystack.
Well, we got two. So
yeah.
what?
We have the monopoly on female gamer podcasts.
We just blew up the internet.
So Caeleste and I were longtime World of Warcraft players. I played Vanguard, and I'm known pretty much by now as the Vanguard player. Prior to Vanguard, I wasn't playing any online video games. My coworkers talked me into it. Caeleste was playing online video games before World of Warcraft. What were you playing?
I briefly played Star Wars Galaxies until Sony fucked it up.
Vanguard drink.
I was miming it because I didn't want to interrupt it.
I'm trying to tell people about I'm not trying to be that, but I want to tell people my gaming experience, right? Like I was playing Vanguard with, I was working graveyard. I was single. It was 4 coworkers. We were all former military. And one of them was all like, hey, let's play video games online together. And so the 3 of us were like, okay, sounds cool. And it's been downhill ever since.
New show, guys. We need a drinking game. Give us a few episodes before we start stockpiling liquor. It's fine. I mean, all right. So Star Wars Galaxies, wasn't there something you were in the mix? You were like way early Star Wars Galaxies, though, right? Like before they made the change where everybody could be Jedi.
I started playing like when Jedi was incredibly difficult to get. And then I took a break for a while and then heard, oh, you can be a Jedi now. I was like, oh, and I went back and then the changed.
Everybody's like,
new player experience.
You log in. It's like, isn't that funny when you log into a game you haven't been on? They made that one change. You're like, oh, cool. You go check it out. Everybody's like, I just walked in and everybody's the same class. What happened?
That's what happens every time Guild Wars 2 gets a new vanity item on Tarnished Coast, or like a new hair color or anything like that. You walk in and it's like just a sea of monotony.
What is going on? Why is this a thing?
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
I hate it too because like normally I would buy the cool new outfit and I would like color it all like cool and I'd be like go into all the like Dragon Time events and things like that. I'm standing next to somebody. I'm like, bitch, you're wearing my outfit.
You're
That's
like,
when you're like, bitch, I wear it better.
you whisper and like, guess what? I'm wearing it better.
The difference between you and me is I make this look good.
You totally. I love you,
That's
babe.
2 geeky movie references. Bam, bam.
And for those of you that are new, Tannlin is my real life husband. He's right there, like right there. Yeah.
Me and BB-8 are like interested, but it's complicated.
Because like he's a droid, and he's not really the droid you're looking for,
I'm sorry, but R2 is my first love.
right?
Awkward.
Can I have 3PO?
I'm like Snorlax. I just want to sleep all day. Maybe eat a pizza. It's complicated between me and pizza. Can we move on before
What you were saying?
right?
Right, so Flattuss, other than playing a whole lot of Final Fantasy lately, I know you've played that you were playing World of Warcraft prior to that. EverQuest 2, you played a bit of that.
Yep. WoW. Let's see. I was a Blizzard fan for a long time. I mean, I played a lot of RTS games when I was younger. It was what my uncles were into, and that's what they had, and they let me play them. So, and then when I got my PC, I got them too. So I played like the Star Wars RTS, Star Trek RTS. By the way, the old school. I'm trying to find a copy of it, but the old school Star Trek RTS was actually a lot of fun. I always liked playing the Borg. It was great. And so I always played like WoW because you had Warcraft, Warcraft 2, which started bringing the story in. You had StarCraft. Then I played Diablo, naturally, because you start becoming a fan of the content that at the time that Blizzard was putting out great stuff. Eventually, I started playing World of Warcraft and vanilla. I played EQ2 for a little bit. Back early us because we were like, hey, go try it out. And I did. I was in there.
Bought some boosted characters, some heroic characters.
Free. They were free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were giving them out for free, and I got my boosted character. But it's still cool though because I ended up buying another boosted character. I had a subscription, and I had so much Daybreak dollars or whatever they are. Or I had at the time I had SOE bucks or whatever they're called. Ended up buying that dragon race that came out, and I was like, I'm gonna be this one. By the way, their slow glide helps you in some like when you have to go down into certain places. I was like, oh, I can just drop down, and like you can cut through half an area. Like when I had to go learn how to talk like a dragon, I cut like through half the volcano area. I just had to glide down. I'm not gonna remember names of places.
And you remembered me. Or reminded me. StarCraft. One of my gaming experiences that I love telling people about is that I went on deployment. I was a former Marine, and so I was stuck on an aircraft carrier for 6 months, floating around the Pacific. And I was allowed to bring a laptop with me, but there was no internet on the aircraft carrier in the mid '90s, right? But there was one game that I had that the laptop can play. And with StarCraft. And so literally the only game other than like Minesweeper that I could play for 6 months out to sea was StarCraft. I played the hell out of that game.
I did too. Like I said, when I first got StarCraft, my parents were going on vacation for the weekend, and I had taken off work, and I was like, you know what? I think from Friday night until like my parents came home Monday, I didn't have school. I did nothing but play StarCraft. Like I did nothing. I played through that whole campaign, like all of it,
multiple times.
Yeah, no, I went through it. Plus that stupid damn Terran level, the end level with the lava. Every time, because the lava had to rise, so you had to lift your bases up off out of. Fuck that level. That level sucks.
I just remember that I would replay the same level over and over again, because it was scored, right? And you got, like killing more things increased your score, and not having, not letting people die increased your score. So like I got to the point where if like one of my little Marines died, I would restart the whole mission over.
I did that, yeah.
And then wrapping up, Lucy.
So I think everybody. What? Go ahead.
Oh, can I say how like I know the Sealand Trading Company and Keepers of Stromgarde.
Tannlin, up in here, dropping names.
so one of my middle school friends, I was in middle school, he was in high school because he's a couple years older than me. Him and his wife were playing World of Warcraft, and it just so happens that I realized that they were playing World of Warcraft on the same server that I was, which was an RP PvP server, but they were playing Alliance and I was playing Horde. And so there was some epic shit talking that went on between us. He's a better shit talker than I am. I'm probably a better PvPer than he is.
Definitely.
But he was a member of Keepers of Stromgarde. And that's connected because Lucy wasn't part of Keepers, but the guild kind of had a
Yeah, she
Yes, I was.
split. Oh, you were? I thought you were just Sealand Trading Company.
No.
No.
I have pictures of my character naked dancing in a Keepers of Stromgarde tabard.
She's probably ganked me a few times.
Oh
Was
God,
it-
no.
Did you get ripped open by a feral druid?
Oh no,
Couple
it wasn't a
times.
feral druid. It was a priest actually. So no, I did no ripping of anybody. I died a lot.
Were you the healer?
Yep.
Maybe we've killed her a few times.
Oh yeah, probably yeah. It depends. I mean, you would have known because my character's name was the same as it is now. It was Lucitie.
And my character was Caeleste, paladin.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh. Yep.
Did you
He
ever
was-
raid the bank in Stormwind?
What?
Yeah.
Who didn't?
What? Is it going down right now?
Uh-oh.
What was okay, Tannlin? What was your character's name?
Alice,
Alice, yeah.
female paladin.
Oh, female paladin. Never mind.
Female paladin. But I was also on a female paladin.
Yeah, so in chat right now, Arya was also in Keepers of Stromgarde, and so she knows what's up. So yeah, so I was in the Keepers of Stromgarde, but that's actually not where my gaming story begins. My gaming story begins back in 2000 with EQ1. It was my very first MMO experience. Me and my sister used to team up and just kill stuff. I was a wood elf warrior. I know she was a mage. I want to say she was probably like a high elf mage. She'll correct me. She always does. That's what siblings are for. So EQ was my very, very first MMO experience. And then later on, I came into EQ2, and I loved it. Absolutely loved EQ2. It has so many cool features, but everybody else was playing World of Warcraft. So, like, I remember being... Oh, apparently one of my first characters was a Wood Elf Ranger. That didn't go very far, though, because I only remember the warrior. So, there's that.
Level 3. I'm out.
Yeah, probably. So I remember going to a party with a bunch of my friends and being like, "Oh my God, so EQ2, blah blah blah," and everybody's like, "No, don't play that. Come play World of Warcraft." I'm like, "But EQ2, I'm a fairy. What do you have to offer me?"
Druids are for fight.
And they're like, "Well, we all play," and I was like, "Shit, friends." Fairy. Friends, fairy. So I started
says
playing...
your friends can't be fairies.
No, they can be, but I can't be a fairy and play with my friends. So friends won over being a fairy.
Damn.
I know. So I went over and I played World of Warcraft, and of course, my real life friends stopped playing after I got addicted to the game, like they always do. So I ended up joining a role-playing guild. Ended up joining a role-playing guild, which is Keepers of Stromgarde. And later on, yeah, Arya says, and then we nabbed her. Yes, eventually, Keepers of Stromgarde does that thing that guilds do, where they split apart and management styles are different, and somebody wants to take the guild in this direction, and somebody else wants to take the guild in that direction. So a sect broke away from Keepers of Stromgarde, and they were a Sealand trading company, and I joined them mostly because they had RP tavern nights, and that's fun.
We might have
Oops, go ahead.
crashed a couple of RP tavern nights.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was my favorite part. But it's true. You have to have a tavern to be able to dance on the bar. Absolutely. You can't dance on the bar in your tavern unless you have a bar. So they won. And then after I got out of World of Warcraft, I kind of floated and was a little lost in gaming. But I ended up picking up Landmark, getting excited for EQ next. I played a ton of stuff in the middle and before and after, and Diablo, Dungeon Master 2, original EverQuest, Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, like, oh my god, like, Neverwinter Nights was actually one of the only games that I actually completed. I'm not very good at completing games. But now I'm mostly in Landmark, and of course I love The Sims 4 because Sims, who doesn't love The Sims? Yeah, so that's kind of like my whole like gaming history, and because I got into Landmark pretty heavily, actually. I was really into I still am really into Landmark, but and I started doing RP PvP events. So started getting a little notice. I still to this day remember Dave Georgeson on live streams going, "How do you even do an RP PvP event? Like, how does that even work?" Like, but we did them and it was fun. And these guys found me lost and alone, adrift in the sea of social media, and they took me in and gave me something to eat and drink. And then, I mean, basically they adopted me because you can't feed a Lucy and then, I mean, if you give a Lucy some milk, she's gonna want a cookie, and then she just stays forever.
We gave her a sock, but she still won't leave.
Right.
I'm waiting for the other sock.
Oh, sorry, you can't have the other one.
So that was the opportunity to get to know all of us. Somebody had made a comment about how nice the background looked. The background I nabbed from a game called The Chronicles of Illyria. It was from their media, their media section of their website. I just grabbed it from because it looked cool. I linked it in chat. So we will rotate backgrounds every show now. I look forward to sharing with you our favorite screen cap moments from video games that we're either playing or look forward to playing. Any closing thoughts before we wrap it up and go to the do better?
Thank you all for joining us on this first episode, and I hope that you stick with us and you'll learn more about us and gaming. And like I said, contact at loottable.net. Hit us up there.
So my final thought is that this first episode was just so that people could get to know us. This, like, we're not just going to talk about ourselves the entire podcast going forward. We have like a whole lineup that I will get to in a minute of our topics, the things that we want to talk about. And like Flattuss said, email us suggestions, what you're playing, what you would like to see us talk about. Caeleste, Lucy, was that it for you guys?
I like ghasts.
Yep, I've got BB-8. BB-8, do you look at me?
Oh no.
I wanted to give BB-8 a chance in case you wanted to say anything. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything to say? Good point. Good point. Right.
Not sure what he said, but really bad.
Oh, I know what he said.
No.
We can't translate on the show. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is Manchi. He's
Oh no.
bad.
It's dirty. Involves whips.
So moving on to the Do Better. A Do Better is a section a segment that we do on the podcast every week, where I point out that there is a development in the gaming world in which someone could have done better. That's why we call it Do Better. It's not necessarily a flame or a rant, though it can have those characteristics. It's more of a pointing out that somebody took a swing at something and they missed. They whiffed. I originally was going to do a Do Better on YouTube and Google Plus because fuck that. I had to go through the torture of trying to get our YouTube channel set up and through Google Plus and all of that, and just screw that. But that's not actually my Do Better. If you've been paying attention to the online, video game news and reports, Blizzard sent out a letter to the server hosts in France for a vanilla WoW emulator server called, and forgive me, Nostralrius. I want to say in Australia because it's Australia with an N at the front, but evident that's not how it's spelled. So the pronunciation is not easy. My Do Better is in two parts. Well, 3 parts. I'll throw in a 3-part. My first Do Better is Blizzard. Do better. If you know there is an emulated server, don't wait. Communicate directly with the people that are doing the project. But more importantly, pay attention. If you take what Nostralrius said about their web server, they had over 2 million registered accounts and over 150 active players.
Concurrent every day.
And that's huge. Those are and those people would rather play on an emulated vanilla server. They would rather go back and play vanilla than they would than play Warlords of Draenor. They would rather play the old version of your game rather than the new version of the game. And you had better know. And you would better know why. And if you're making an educated decision that it's better to shut them down than to work with them, then you better bank that that's the correct course of action, because that's a whole lot of customers to burn. I also want to throw out there that there are entire channels dedicated to reruns of old movies and TV shows. Nostalgia is a powerful force, and if you ignore it, you are doing it at your own peril. That is my Blizzard side. Nostralrius, the server admins. What did you think was going to happen? That's my Do Better. Because there was no way that Blizzard was going to let this go indefinitely. One of the things that like even the briefest bit of copyright law is if you don't protect your intellectual property, you are actually losing it. You actively have to protect it every time, or you run the risk of somebody permanently infringing on it. With that said, they were going to shut you down sooner or later. It was only a matter of time. And what was you should have had a backup plan.
Well, they kind of released everything out to everybody. They're like, here you go. Here's all our stuff. Here's everything we've worked on. And there it is. Like, they put it out to everybody. So it's going to, a second server is going to pop up. My thing is that Blizzard waited so long and chose specifically there's tons. Go look. There are tons of vanilla servers. The differences between that, Nostralrius was like, they changed nothing. It was just vanilla WoW. Other servers are like, oh, we give you 1 million gold. We sped up leveling. You can get instant. Like a lot of them are like hacked, or they give you like, they're not pure vanilla servers. Where Nostralrius was pure vanilla Warcraft. So
yeah, and they had like a whole release schedule. They were going to go through the whole the whole expansion cycle of World of Warcraft. Me personally, I would never go back to an emulator to a vanilla server. I don't have the same type of nostalgia memories. I didn't start playing until the middle of the Burning Crusade, and then I didn't even get my character to max level until early in Wrath of the Lich King. So I have no memories of vanilla WoW, so I have no interest in going back to it. The second thing, reason I would never go back is that I love dual spec. I love the fact that they're opening up 3 specs. Hey, Lucy, you know that all druids are going to have all 4 specs available in the next expansion. I think that's pretty cool.
Wait, all 4?
Yeah.
All
So
4.
like you can be everything?
You can be
You
everything.
can do everything. You are
So
a
you
druid.
can be like a feral druid, and then a PvP feral druid, and then a bear feral druid, and then a PvP bear feral druid, because that's all that druids are for. Fight!
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to go that
Yes,
route, I guess you
Lucy.
could. Yeah. I get it. I mean, I played on Nostralrius. Like, what do you do? Come at me. Fucking, I'll say it right now. I played on Nostralrius. I loved it. I loved it so much. And it's because I played vanilla. I played from Burning Crusade's launch. There is a big difference, right? Like let's take it. Like I'm not gonna make the show run long. We started late, but I don't want to take us to like make this. I mean, if this has to be a whole conversation and in a different episode, we can do that. But what does it tell Blizzard that there are 2 million people, 150,000 concurrent players telling you, saying like, listen, we don't like what you did. We don't like what you changed in the game, that we are willing to take the time and put effort into leveling from scratch on a vanilla server.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
did Warcraft make all the right changes? Some of them were great. Do I think all of them are great? No. I don't think all of them are great. I think a lot of them cater to gaining the bottom line, right? Eventually, like Blizzard's like, we need to make money. And how do we keep bringing people in to make money? And you make the game easier. And I don't think that was the smartest choice for them.
I would like to say that I don't have the same feelings. Like, I've enjoyed all the expansions. I don't necessarily like some of the changes, but I roll with it. Like, I've never been like, oh my god, I can't believe Blizzard did it. Like, I don't get like that because it's just a game. Why are you mad? It's just anyways, but I would have played on that server when they launched Burning Crusade. Not because I don't like what Blizzard did or is doing, but because I'd love to know what it was like when it was just Burning Crusade. So some of those people may be playing not because they hate what's going on now, but because they didn't get to see that at launch. Because I didn't.
And again, like
you would have loved Nostralrius from that, because the whole like leveling up through original Warcraft was part of like getting to Burning Crusade, and it was beautiful. There's a beauty like regardless, yeah, they streamline questing and stuff like that, but there is a beauty in like logging in and be like, all right, this is like pure. This is a pure world. Like nothing's changed. Like it was kind of nice like logging in and getting to experience some of that. And they allowed add-ons. They did have all the add-ons. So anything that you couldn't they had all the old school vanilla add-ons and stuff like
Quest
that.
Helper.
So, yep, they had Quest Helper.
Yeah,
Everything. Everything was in there.
See, I don't remember all of the things, but I remembered the game before the Quest Helper. Because so the other thing that Blizzard is really good at doing is that if somebody develops an add-on that a majority of the players eventually end up downloading and using, Blizzard will write their own version of that and integrate it into the game as part of the standard stock UI. The Quest Helper is one. There used to be a raid finder that helped you find raid groups to join. Now it's integrated into the game. Like the countdown timer that put the countdown on your buttons. Now it's integrated. Those were just 3 that I could think of at the top of my head. Again, like my real problem with what Blizzard did is that they didn't communicate directly with Nostralrius. They went and they sent the cease and desist to their servers over in France and had their servers shut down by their server providers instead of communicating directly with them. And I think that's the sign of an arrogant gaming company that is willing to take a portion of the fans of their game and just totally like smack them and be like, don't do that. And I think that like we talked about Star Wars Galaxies, and that was one of the mistakes I think that Star Wars Galaxies ran into when they put in the new gaming experience. I think that both John Smedley and Brass Linda Carlson, who is the director of PR for SOE at the time, she is no longer, she's over at Treon, but both of them have admitted that they thought that the developers were confident that the players would eventually get over the changes and just accept it, because they were so certain that this was the right thing to do. And, lo and behold, the players said, no, we don't want this. And they left. And Warcraft, they're the largest right now, but that they're not, it's really hard to say that they're the best out there currently.
It's hard. It's really hard. That's getting to a point, because I think a lot of their numbers aren't based on content and how good it is. I think it's just based on, I'm showing up because my friends still play this. And eventually, if they move on, and eventually they will, because eventually it's like, what am I paying for? I mean, I honestly, like, why do you log in? Like, I'm not.
Well, I log in. I finally found a raid group of people that actually can keep a schedule and can get things done. So we were talking about World of Warcraft in Wrath of the Lich King. When I hit max level, they made the decision that the game was going to be about raiding. Because if you were not fully engaged in end gaming, you got no special things. You didn't get the best gear, you didn't get the best titles, you didn't get the best achievements. All of those came from end game raiding. And the expansion after that, with Cataclysm, they introduced LFR, which was like the introduction, the story mode to raiding, but still, most of the game's end game focus was on raiding. And if you're going to make a game about raiding, and I think Flattuss is this is one of the things that he wanted to allude on, is that if you're going to make your game about end game raiding, you need to have some end game raids that are new and fresh.
Yeah.
Because an update once every 6 to 8 months is not enough.
It's not. I'm just saying, there are other MMOs out there, even ones that are not maybe up to the same par as Warcraft. Like, look at Blade and Soul. They came out with the new expansion already. Like, they added all new content and added a whole new class. Like eventually, like, I'm not saying like WoW is on its deathbed, but like when you do stuff like this, it doesn't paint you in a great light. And the fact that like they keep constantly make changes every expansion, which are great. Like, I think making, like, you constantly want to try new things to see what works. My issue is that they constantly try to make things to see what works, but and then like they never really truly keep what works. Like, every time like new expansion comes out, it's like, well, we really like what we did, but we're gonna add this and do this and change all this. It's like, but what happened? Like, if you guys liked it so much, you're not really building upon it. You're just changing it. Like the garrison missions, like that wasn't a great idea, so they're going to change it. It's like, you're going to go on those missions now with your, like, but I don't want to go on this. Like, you're making me go on those missions. I get it, but I don't know. Like, it's hard to say. Like, I am not the perfect person to talk to, because I fell out of love. I legitimately fell out of love with Warcraft, and it's better for me because I think I moved on to better pastures. I just think that as a company, sometimes I think you need to take a step back and really review about how you're building your game and your MMO, and say, maybe we need to take a look at like where we started and where we're at now, and then take the things that are working and really, really focus on that stuff and make it really work. And then look at what the people are asking for. Like with Final Fantasy, like, and I'm using that as an example because I do play that. Constant like content updates aren't terrible. They're great because it gives you something to do. It may not always be a raid patch, but it's like, here's a new step in your weapon quest line, and you can go run that, and that's content. It's stuff you can do. And is that required of you to do it? No. There's the PvP feast mode they have now. PvP season starting. Like, they're adding all this stuff, so it's constant. I think it's smart that they're doing the PvP changes. I think that's great. I think that's something, but add more arenas, add new battlegrounds, add new stuff that's going to keep people in there. But
I have a quick maybe. Maybe they shut the server down because they're thinking about spooling up their own vanilla server, their own time-locked expansion server. I mean, maybe. You never know.
It's possible
Maybe.
that would. I think that they've been on the record as saying that that's never
Gonna
something
happen.
That's
They
probably,
also said they would never bring Illidan back. So do you really want to listen to them?
Well, they also said no. They also said no flying in Draenor, and then 2 weeks later put it in.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
get
don't
that.
listen to them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that EverQuest and EverQuest 2 have seen huge resurgence in gameplay with their time lock expansion servers. So, I mean, if subscriptions are lagging, maybe it's a good idea, Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
And you can always like make it so that like, hey, what features can we have now that we can put in place for vanilla that would make certain things like the cross server rate, like you have friends on other servers, and if they do a vanilla, like I get maybe everyone create a whole new character, start from scratch. But if you all can't get on that damn server, I mean, you still would want to play with your friends, so cross server wouldn't be too terrible.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that you can add that would make it better, like a better experience, but still keep it vanilla.
EverQuest and EverQuest 2 absolutely did that. Like when EQ first went live, it didn't have any maps. I got so lost. They have maps on the time lock expansion server now because maps.
Okay.
All right. So maybe I should put this down on the schedule, because our schedule for those that would like to know, next week we're talking about the Elder Scrolls Online, not Elder Scrolls Online. We're talking about the Elder Scrolls franchise and Skyrim, and maybe a little bit about Elder Scrolls Online.
Yay.
The week after that, April 24th, we're talking about the Dragon Age franchise, especially Dragon Age Inquisition. Maybe after that, we can talk about time-locked expansion servers or other private emulated servers.
Can we talk about like maybe MMOs? Just to generalize it.
All MMOs all the time?
No, well, not
every
maybe not
MMO.
all of them.
All of them. 2 seconds in each. Go.
Go. Start right now.
We can do that. The stereotypical podcast question: what is an MMO?
A massively multiplayer online game.
But what does that mean? All right, I know
It's
Caeleste
massive and multiplayer and online.
All right, so we're going to wrap up the show. We've been doing this for about an hour 15. We have one question that I will throw out there before we end the show. Do you think it's tougher for Blizzard to do WoW time lock expansion servers than EQ because the architecture and abilities of the game have changed so much over the years?
No.
So has EverQuest.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's be more tough because, I mean, they probably have archive of everything.
They could probably even retexture the vanilla if they really wanted to. I mean, Blizzard's got the money. Blizzard's got the money.
They could relaunch the time lock expansion servers with the updated polygon count models instead of the older ones.
That
would be a cool thing.
Hey, those other guys did it, so
yeah, right.
I bet Blizzard can do it easily.
All right, anybody can do it. Live the dream, Blizzard. Live the dream. I got a question for our audience. So, and they don't like here, and here it is. What do you like about the Elder Scrolls series? What is your favorite thing? What's your favorite Elder Scrolls game? Let us know. Email us at contact@loottable.net, and we will maybe read some of those emails on the show next week. And if you got to make a good point about the game, or there's something about one of the games that you like, and just put it in there. Brevity, please.
Hey,
Brevity.
if you're playing one right now, tweet us screenshots.
Yeah, that too. We may use your screenshot as the background behind us.
We could do that.
We could do that, and we will give you credit. So if you are playing Scrim or Elder Scrolls Online or any of the Elder Scroll games, really, just let us know. So email us if you played it or you love that series, and let us know what your favorite game is out of it. And if you're playing currently, maybe send us a screenshot on Twitter, and we can use it for the show.
I had something else I was going to throw out there, but I forgot it. show from we are currently on iTunes. If you were subscribed to the Evercast show podcast feed on iTunes, you probably want to find Loot Table and subscribe to us there, and unsubscribe from the Evercast show, because I tried to keep the feed the same so that if you were already subscribed, you wouldn't have to resubscribe. It doesn't look like it's going to go through. Stitcher, same thing. Like, if you search for Loot Table, it pulls up our new feed. But I don't know if you were subscribed to the old Evercast, if it's going to feed in the Loot Cast, or the Loot Cast, the Loot Table feed, even though everything else is the same. It's very hard, because the way things work is that I don't have control over their servers and their broadcasting. I have control over what I'm telling them, but I don't get to see the updates in real time like I'd like to be able to. I have to wait for their server to do a search and find us and then put it out there, and it's not as easy as I'd like it to be. We are already on Twitter. If you're following us on Twitter as the Evercast Show, you're already following us as the Loot Table. If you're not and you would like to, we are twitter.com/loot_table. We have a new website. It is loottable.net. You can find all of our current information either there or our Twitter. I think that we've pretty much beat everything else out.
Yep, beat it out.
And I will... Lucy, I'm sorry. That was phrased poorly.
An adult.
And I forgot that Lucy lives in the gutter, so if anything can be, it will be.
Kai got it first. She was like, oh no, you didn't.
Yep.
I was just disapproving.
Better camp us out. Or
I will camp us out. And I look forward to seeing you guys all next week. Again, tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell everybody that you can. We appreciate you for being here. Camping out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you all next week.
bye.
Thanks for listening. Send us an email at contact@loottable.net. You can contact our host on Twitter. Caeleste is at BloodKnightKai. Lucitie is at Lucitie. Tannlin is at Tannlin, and Flattuss is at Flattuss. Loot Table is a Desert Rain Studio Productions. Music is provided by MDK. Find him and more of his music at soundcloud.com/MDKofficial. Thanks for joining, and game on, adventurers.